Hi, my name is Alexander. Today I will tell you about inside Elvis Presley's homes, from a Mississippi shack to Graceland. Be sure to watch this video to the end. You definitely didn't know that. Go! The spectacular homes of Elvis Presley. From an introverted youth to an international icon, Elvis Presley revolutionized the landscape of American pop culture upon his meteoric rise in the 1950s. With smash hits like Heartbreak Hotel and Jailhouse Rock, he epitomized youthful defiance, while his film star looks and magnetic stage persona garnered a fervent fanbase that persists well beyond his premature demise in 1977, at the age of 42. From the humble two-room abode in Tupelo, Mississippi where he first drew breath, to the opulent Graceland mansion in Memphis where he resided and ultimately passed, we chart his ascent to stardom and the remarkable estates he acquired along his journey. Continue reading or scroll to delve deeper into his extraordinary story. The Presley family. Elvis Aaron Presley entered the world on January 8, 1935, in East Tupelo, Mississippi, arriving just 35 minutes after his identical twin brother, Jesse, who tragically was stillborn. Elvis shared a profound bond with his parents, Vernon and Gladys, especially with his mother. According to accounts, Gladys believed that when one twin died, the one that lived got all the strength of both. She adored her son and took him everywhere with her, even bringing him along when she worked in the cotton fields during his infancy. The King's birthplace. Elvis was born in a modest two-room shack in Tupelo, constructed from scratch by his father, Vernon, with assistance from his own father and uncle, financed by a $180 loan for building materials. This humble abode, encircled by a white picket fence, was situated just a short distance from the Pentecostal Assembly of God Church. Elvis credited this church with providing his early spiritual and musical inspiration. It was here that the legendary singer first encountered gospel music, learning to sing and play guitar. Fittingly, the Tupelo Elvis Presley fan club is located just across the road from this significant site. Now a popular Elvis museum. Now christened Elvis Presley Drive, the street where his birthplace stands has been transformed into a dedicated heritage site and museum, offering fans an authentic glimpse into the early life of their king. One of the standout features is a faithful reconstruction of the family's 1930s kitchen, resplendent with a gingham tablecloth, ironing board, and even a baby's high chair, capturing the essence of the era. However, the Presleys' stay in this house was brief. In 1938, after Elvis's father, Vernon, a jack of all trades, was imprisoned for 8 months for altering a check from a former employer, the family lost their home and subsequently lived in various other residences in the vicinity. Saved from the wrecking ball. One of the residences was a 3-bedroom house in East Tupelo, constructed by Elvis's great-uncle, Noah Presley. Elvis and his parents called this place home from 1943 to 1944. Originally located at 1241 Kelly Street, close to Elvis's birthplace, the house was auctioned in 2022 for $46,000. It was preserved from demolition and meticulously disassembled and packed away by Elvis experts. Jeff Marin of Rockhurst Auctions stated that the new owner, based in California, plans on reassembling the house on his own property, furnishing it with 1930s decor and housewares, and then adding various Elvis collectible items. Meticulous restoration project. The Hound Dog singer's home was meticulously deconstructed, piece by piece, then carefully stored and preserved in a 30-foot American Hauler Nighthawk trailer after being saved from demolition. The dismantling process was overseen by Elvis experts Chris Davidson and Stephen Schutz, who filmed an hour-long documentary detailing the packing of this historic home into the trailer for transportation and the discoveries made during the process. Among the unearthed items were clothing, jewelry, and concert merchandise, as reported by The Sun. How it all began for Elvis. Elvis was 13 when his family relocated from Tupelo to Memphis, Tennessee, in search of better job opportunities for Vernon. This move was transformative for young Elvis, shaping his musical sound and style. A talent show victory at Humes High School boosted his confidence, propelling his musical aspirations. Initially, the family stayed in a couple of boarding houses in Memphis before settling into a public housing complex called Lauderdale Courts in 1949. This former Presley home is now commemorated with a plaque. Elvis quickly distinguished himself, not only through his striking looks and stylish clothing purchased on Beale Street, the epicenter of Memphis's vibrant blues scene, but also through his unique voice, influenced by the blues and gospel music of the South. Elvis's teenage bedroom. Elvis formed a band, practicing in the basement and performing for neighbors on the front steps of their building. The Presleys' apartment has been restored to its original condition, including Elvis's teenage bedroom. The space now features family photographs, memorabilia, a guitar, and Elvis's Humes High School yearbook, according to Fox Business. The family had to leave in 1953 because their income surpassed the allowable limit for residents of the housing project. Today, devoted fans can visit and even stay overnight in the apartment for around $250 per night. Sun Studios. After working as a cinema usher and truck driver, Elvis Presley encountered his first major inspiration, Sam Phillips, the owner of the Sun Record Company, in 1953. Sun Studios, still standing today, became the launchpad for his career. His first recording in 1954, That's All Right, didn't chart, but his subsequent performances, characterized by his iconic pelvic thrusts and earning him the nickname Elvis the Pelvis, set him on the path to stardom. Colonel Tom Parker. Elvis soon caught the eye of music entrepreneur Colonel Tom Parker. While Parker is credited with catapulting Elvis to stardom, his manipulative and controlling nature is often seen as a significant factor in Elvis's eventual downfall. Within a year of Parker becoming his manager in November 1955, Elvis had earned his first 6 gold discs and gained an international reputation as the most electrifying artist to emerge in years. Audubon Drive. By the time Elvis and his parents moved into the one-story ranch-style house on Audubon Drive in March 1956, he was already a star. A month later, he scored his first #1 hit with Heartbreak Hotel. Pictures of the house appeared in magazines, and police were frequently called to manage the crowds of fans who lined the streets hoping to catch a glimpse of their idol. This intense attention led Elvis to sell the property after just 13 months. Finding Graceland. Seeking a larger, more secluded property to escape the constant invasion of fans, Elvis purchased the colonial revival-style mansion on the outskirts of Memphis, known as Graceland, for $102,500 in March 1957. Adjusted for inflation, that's about $1.1 million today. The purchase price included trading in his Audubon Drive home to its owner, Ruth Brown Moore. Elvis's forever home. Set on 13.8 acres, Graceland became Elvis's primary residence for the remainder of his life and ultimately his final resting place. The star spent months renovating the property, transforming it into a private haven for himself and his family. In addition to his wife Priscilla and their daughter, the late Lisa Marie, his parents Vernon and Gladys, and his grandmother Minnie Mae lived there, as did his aunt Delta. The house was always bustling with people, including members of his entourage, affectionately known as the Memphis Mafia, which comprised old friends. In the Army now. Not long after moving to Graceland, at the pinnacle of his fame in 1958, Elvis was drafted into the U.S. Army, serving 2 years in Germany from March 1958 to 1960. Here he is seen waving farewell to fans from the USS Randall in New York City. Before his departure, he had appeared in 4 films, including Jailhouse Rock and King Creole. Despite his musical success, Elvis aspired to become a serious actor, aiming for the same Hollywood stardom as James Dean and Marlon Brando. Elvis meets Priscilla. In Germany, Elvis met his future wife, Priscilla Beaulieu, the 14-year-old stepdaughter of a U.S. Air Force officer stationed there. He fell deeply in love with her and persuaded her father to allow her to move to Graceland in 1962. There, she completed her senior year at the all-girls Immaculate Conception Cathedral High School in Memphis. This image shows Priscilla at 16, accompanied by a military policeman at Frankfurt Airport in March 1960, after bidding farewell to Elvis, who had returned to the United States to be released from military service. Hollywood homes. Elvis's ambition to become a serious actor was stifled upon his return from the Army. Colonel Tom Parker had committed him to star in 27 movies, most of which were musical comedies like GI Blues and Blue Hawaii. Despite releasing many hit records, including It's Now or Never and Are You Lonesome Tonight, Elvis made his last public performance for 7 years in March 1961. He spent much of the ensuing years in Hollywood, residing in stunning properties, including a Spanish colonial mansion in Bel Air. Former home of Prince Rainier. Built in 1931 by renowned architect Wallace Neff, the 13,300 square foot legendary property on Bellagio Road was once home to Howard Hughes and Prince Rainier, who resided there while dating Grace Kelly. Situated in the prestigious Platinum Triangle, which includes Bel Air, Beverly Hills, and Holmby Hills, the estate spans 1.5 acres and boasts gardens, a pool, and a tennis court. Elvis and Priscilla lived in this luxurious home from November 1961 to January 1963, prior to their marriage. When the King met the Beatles. While filming, Elvis lived in a rented property at 525 Perugia Way, Bel Air, from 1960 to 1961, and again from 1963 to 1965. It was here that his famous meeting with the Beatles occurred on August 27, 1965. According to the story, Elvis was watching television with the sound muted when the band arrived. After a few moments of silence, Elvis remarked that if they had nothing to say, he would go to sleep. This broke the ice, leading to an afternoon of chatting and jamming between the band and the rock star. Elvis and Priscilla get married. After an 8-year courtship, Elvis and Priscilla were married in a candle and flower-filled suite at the Aladdin Hotel in Las Vegas on May 1, 1967, with just 14 people in attendance. Priscilla wore an off-the-rack Westwood dress with lace sleeves, while Elvis donned a black paisley silk brocade tuxedo. Colonel Parker arranged for the newlyweds to hold a press conference before their reception, which hosted 100 guests and featured a 6-tier wedding cake. Honeymoon hideaway. The couple originally planned to marry at a vast mansion in Palm Springs but canceled when their plans were leaked to the press. After their Las Vegas ceremony, Elvis borrowed Frank Sinatra's jet to fly his new bride to the property at 1350 Ladera Circle, reports the New York Post. Known as the House of Tomorrow, the mansion was designed by renowned architect Robert Alexander and features a floating fireplace, rock walls, and terrazzo flooring. The stunning master suite with breathtaking mountain views earned it the nickname, the Elvis Presley Honeymoon Hideaway. The mid-century house was initially intended for Mr. Alexander and his family, but tragically, the architect and his wife died in a plane crash in 1965. Shortly after his stay, Elvis rented the mansion for $21,000 a year. Birth of Lisa Marie. The couple had one daughter, the late Lisa Marie Presley, born on February 1, 1968, at the Baptist Memorial Hospital in Memphis, exactly 9 months after her parents' wedding. She is pictured here with her parents at just 4 days old. But where did the family call home? Happy families. The young family spent many happy days at their Beverly Hills house at 1174 Hillcrest Road, which Elvis owned from 1967 to 1973. Situated on a 1.18-acre promontory in a quiet cul-de-sac, the home featured 3 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, floor-to-ceiling windows, and sweeping views across the city down to the ocean. Elvis purchased the property for $400,000 from Hard Rock Cafe founder Peter Morton, and it was last on the market for an astounding $30 million in 2022, according to Ideal Home. Famous neighbors. Though extensively renovated, the property retains its original gates, where Elvis is said to have often chatted with fans who gathered there. At the time, his neighbors included Frank Sinatra, Tony Curtis, Ray Charles, and Dean Martin. Today, Jennifer Aniston and designer Vera Wang are among the residents of the exclusive Truesdale Estates enclave, also known as Billionaires Row. Comeback of the King. After his film career began to decline, Elvis made a remarkable comeback with his TV special, Elvis, which aired on NBC on December 3, 1968. This moment is reenacted by actor Austin Butler in the 2022 movie Elvis, directed by Baz Luhrmann. Approximately 42% of the television audience tuned in, making it the most watched show of the season. This special marked the revival of Elvis's musical career, with timeless hits like In the Ghetto and Suspicious Minds featured on the subsequent studio album from Elvis in Memphis. Superstardom was assured. Elvis has left the building. The subsequent year, heralded as his resurgence tour, Elvis inked a contract to perform at the newly inaugurated International Hotel in Las Vegas, then the world's largest hotel. In 1971, it was renamed the Las Vegas Hilton Hotel. Residing in the opulent hotel suite from 1969, Elvis delivered approximately 837 performances, with the final one occurring in December 1976, a year before his untimely demise. The phrase "Elvis has left the building" would be announced as he was swiftly escorted off the stage, bypassing the throngs of fans eager for a mere glimpse of their idol. The ghost of Elvis? The expansive 5,000-square-foot suite at the former Hilton Hotel, where Elvis resided during those iconic years, has since undergone extensive renovation. Now known as the Tuscan Villa at the Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino, this suite remains a favored retreat for ardent Elvis enthusiasts. Guests have reported sensing his presence during their stay, with some claiming to have glimpsed his apparition and heard his music even when the radio was turned off. The White House. As his career ascended, the strain of relentless performances and an increasing reliance on prescription medications began to erode Elvis's health. A fervent patriot, he was invited to the White House in December 1970 by President Richard Nixon, who unexpectedly awarded him an honorary Bureau of Narcotics badge. In a gesture of appreciation, Elvis presented the president with a mounted Colt 45. Though not the inaugural celebrity to meet a sitting president, Elvis was on the brink of forging new paths elsewhere. Aloha from Hawaii. Headlining his Aloha from Hawaii show in January 1973, Elvis shattered records as the first solo artist to perform a live concert broadcast globally via satellite. An astounding 1.5 billion viewers tuned into this TV special, which became NBC's highest-rated program of the year and further cemented Elvis's universal allure. Elvis and Priscilla divorce. Tragically, in October of that same year, Elvis and Priscilla announced their divorce, having been separated for a year prior. Despite their unconventional marriage, marked by Elvis's numerous affairs, their divorce was reportedly amicable. The couple remained friends and shared custody of their daughter, the late Lisa Marie. "I did not divorce him because I didn't love him. He was the love of my life, but I had to find out about the world," Priscilla shared in a 2016 interview. Bachelor pad. Nicknamed Graceland West, the Presley family typically resided in this Palm Springs palace for several months each year. Elvis continued to live there after his 1973 divorce, expanding the property by 2,000 square feet, which included a new bedroom and an entertainment suite. He had purchased the house at 845 West Chino Canyon Road in 1970 for $105,000. After his passing, it was sold to Frankie Valli. In 2014, it was listed on the market for nearly $3 million, according to Forbes. Death of a legend. To the sorrow of his fans, Elvis's health significantly declined in his later years due to a diet of junk food and reliance on prescription medications. He was hospitalized multiple times and was rushed to Baptist Memorial Hospital on August 16, 1977, where he was pronounced dead at the age of 42. The cause of death was cited as acute respiratory distress. Initially interred in a mausoleum at Forest Hills Cemetery in Memphis, his remains were later moved to Graceland, where he was laid to rest alongside his mother, father, and grandmother Minnie Mae. The king lives on. In 1982, Priscilla announced that Graceland would be transformed into a memorial museum for the late singer and open to the public. Entrusted with control of Elvis Presley Enterprises, she has since dedicated herself to preserving Elvis's legacy. This includes endorsing the 2022 biopic Elvis, which has sparked renewed interest in the legendary singer among younger generations. A monument to his memory. The second most visited home in America after the White House, Graceland has expanded far beyond its original 13-acre plot. It now encompasses 120 acres, featuring a shopping center, a 450-room resort hotel, car parks, and a motor museum. Approximately 600,000 visitors flock to this tribute to his legacy each year, exploring rooms like the dining room, which is arranged as it might have been during Elvis's lifetime. Graceland decor. The decor in Graceland epitomizes the pinnacle of late 1960s and early 1970s fashion. Stunning stained glass panels adorned with peacocks stand out behind the expansive cream couch and cozy armchairs. The vintage living room also boasts one of the mansion's 3 fireplaces, adding to its nostalgic charm. Musical echoes. The house evokes cherished memories of Elvis, especially for his former wife Priscilla, who reminisces in this 2022 interview about evenings spent in the piano room. After returning from late nights at the movies, Elvis and I would go there, and he would spend hours singing gospel music, she recalls. The room was filled with laughter. There were times when Elvis would be on the floor, laughing until he cried. Jungle Rock. The Graceland tour encompasses several areas, including Elvis's parents' bedroom, the kitchen, TV room, pool room, his father's office, the trophy building, the racquetball building, and the meditation garden, where Elvis and his family are interred. Elvis was deeply involved in the home's decor, enlisting local interior designer George Golden to realize his vision. The renowned Jungle Room, depicted here, was tiki-themed and added to the back of the house in 1965. This room is also where Elvis made his final recordings in 1976. Elvis's Pink Cadillac. In addition to touring the mansion, visitors can delve into the life of the singer by exploring the Presley Motors Automobile Museum. The museum showcases some of Elvis's favorite cars, including his iconic pink Cadillac, a 1975 Dino Ferrari, and a 1973 Stutz Blackhawk. Taking to the skies. A variety of exhibitions highlight different facets of the star's life, utilizing archival material and memorabilia. Visitors can also explore his love for luxury air travel by stepping aboard some of his private planes. This includes the Lisa Marie, named after his daughter, which features its own living room, conference room, bedroom, and gold-plated seatbelts. Poignantly, its final flight was to transport Priscilla and Elvis's close friend George Hamilton to his funeral. Elvis Presley's private jets. After sitting abandoned in the desert for nearly 40 years, another of Elvis Presley's private jets, a 1962 Lockheed 1329 Jetstar, was sold at auction in early January 2023 for $260,000. Elvis originally purchased the plane in 1976, just a year before his death, for $840,000, which is equivalent to around $4.4 million today, according to Robb Report. Elvis loved planes, and this was one of them, Priscilla Presley remarked to the packed auction house. In its prime, the plane could reach speeds of 565 miles per hour with a range of 2,500 miles and could accommodate up to 9 passengers and 3 crew members. Tragedy for the Presley family. Back at Graceland, the sole heir to her father's iconic estate, Lisa Marie Presley, tragically passed away on January 12, 2023, at the age of 54. She suffered a cardiac arrest and was rushed to the hospital. As the only child of the legendary singer Elvis and Priscilla, Lisa Marie was a celebrated singer and songwriter in her own right. Lisa Marie's children. Lisa Marie had 2 children with her first husband, Chicago-born musician Danny Keough, from whom she divorced in 1994. Her eldest daughter, Riley Keough, is an actress and model, while her son, Benjamin Keough, tragically died by suicide in 2020 at the age of 27. Presley subsequently married singer Michael Jackson, actor Nicolas Cage, and finally, guitarist and music producer Michael Lockwood, with whom she had twin daughters, Harper Vivian and Lockwood and Finley Aaron Love Lockwood. The Presleys' final resting place. Lisa Marie was laid to rest in Graceland's meditation garden, interred beside her son, Benjamin. The garden also serves as the final resting place for Elvis, his parents Gladys and Vernon, and his grandmother Minnie Mae. Each year, thousands of visitors come to the meditation garden, eager to pay their respects to the king and his family. Inheriting Graceland. After Lisa Marie's passing, her eldest daughter Riley Keough inherited Graceland and the Promenade Trust, which controls it. Purchased by Elvis for $102,500 in 1957, the historic landmark is now valued at least $10 million, likely much more. Lisa Marie inherited the estate directly from her father, who passed away when she was only 9 years old. The estate was placed in trust until she reached 25. It is absolutely 100% mine, and it has always been mine, Graceland, Lisa Marie told Entertainment Tonight in 2013. It will always be. And when it is no longer mine, it will be my children's. And that is that. Plot to steal Graceland. The ownership of the iconic property was thrown into uncertainty in May 2024 when a company called Nosany Investments and Private Lending claimed it had lent Elvis's daughter Lisa Marie $3.8 million in 2018, using her father's historic home as collateral. The company asserted that Lisa Marie was supposed to repay the loan by May 2022. After several unsuccessful attempts to collect the funds, Nosany announced its intention to sell Graceland to the best and highest bidder on May 23, according to the Daily Mail. Riley Keough filed a lawsuit, alleging that Nosany presented fraudulent documents related to the loan and asked a Memphis judge to block the sale, reports AP News. Graceland is safe. Thankfully, the sale was blocked, with Riley alleging that her mother's and other signatures on the documents had been forged. "It's a scam," declared Priscilla Presley, Elvis's former wife, on social media. Remarkably, just days later, a self-proclaimed Nigerian scammer stepped forward, proudly claiming responsibility for the failed attempt to auction off Graceland. He explained that he and his team often target the vulnerable and elderly, reports the New York Post. "We figure out how to steal," the individual wrote to the NYT in Luganda, a Bantu language spoken in Uganda. "That's what we do. I had fun figuring this one out, and it didn't succeed very well," he said. Long live the king. By the time of his death in 1977, Elvis had journeyed far from his humble beginnings in Tupelo. From his birthplace shack, which he later marveled could fit snugly inside the living room of his Graceland mansion, Elvis and his accomplishments had come to embody the American dream. Though decades have passed since his death, his spirit continues to live on within the walls of Graceland and in the hearts and minds of his devoted fans.